creators, welcome to the final video in our tag series this week. I am going to make a black and white tag, and I'm going to start with a black cardstock base, and I'm going to be embossing in the white Stampin' Emboss powder. I'm really excited about this tag because it's going to really nicely match my gift wrap that I have left over from last year. So let's go ahead and dive in, get started. I'm going to cut my black cardstock down into 2-inch pieces. So we're going to do 2 inches. And I want to make these tags a little bit longer. So I'm gonna do 4 1/4, which will give me 2 tags from that one strip. So there's 2 right there. I'm going to finish chopping the rest of this up into my 2-inch strips and then trimming those down to 4 1/4. All right, so that'll get us 10 tags out of one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I'm going to take my scalloped tag topper punch, and we're going to punch the tops of those tags. All right, so now that I have those tag bases done, I have my Versamark ink. This is the watermark stamp pad that you can use with heat embossing. I have my embossing buddy, as well as my Stampin' Emboss powder in white. And then you're gonna need either a tray or just a scrap piece of paper folded in half so that you can get the excess powder off of your papers. All right, so I am using 2 different sets today. We've got the Rooted in Nature, and from this set I'm using this fun, beautiful little leaf piece here, as well as one of the single trees. And then I'm also using Tidings All Around, and we are using the 'Tis the Season right here. So I'm going to start with the 'Tis the Season, and I'm going to take my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to give that a light dusting like that. And it kind of makes it look almost like a chalkboard, which I am okay with. Now, if you don't like that kind of powdered chalkboard look on this dark cardstock, then you can skip that step. Just be super careful when you pour your powder on. You don't want it to kind of stick where you don't want it to stick, so you might have to kind of pick off a couple of grains of that powder. So I'm going to start with 'Tis the Season, and I'm going to ink that up in a Versamark. Get it nice and juicy. You want it really sticky. And I'm going to stamp that down in the right-hand corner. You want to work pretty quickly when you get to the Versamark step. So I'm going to stamp these little leaves in these 2 sides here. And I'm going to take my adorable little tree. We're going to stamp him right in the middle there. And I'm going to put 1 more leaf up here at the top. Okay, now we're going to put that into our tray, pour on our powder. And pick up that tag very carefully and tap the excess powder off. You can also give it a couple flicks on the back. And then that's where a brush like this comes in handy. You can brush off the little extra pieces, or you can also use a toothbrush or a toothpick. You can pick them off with your fingers. Just kind of rub them off like that. Or if you're not worried about it, it'll just look like snow. So don't worry about it. Okay, then we're going to grab our heat tool and we're going to heat emboss this. So I'm going to do a few more before I get my tool out so that I can just do all of them at one time. All right, now we're going to use our heat tool to heat emboss all of that gorgeous white powder. I'm just heating up my tool, and I'm just going to use my paper piercer to kind of hold the tag so that I can keep my fingers away from the heat. And once the heat tool gets heated up, you can see it'll work a lot quicker on your tag. Look at that gorgeous, oh, it's so pretty. I love heat embossing. You can see it just work right away there. Okay, one down. All right, there are our tags so far. Now this is nice and embossed, and you can feel that it's raised. It's really fun. I love to heat emboss my projects. And I wanted to try something. I'm going to take one of my Stampin' blends. This is the Poppy Parade in the dark color. And I'm going to see if I can color in that white emboss and see if it'll stay colored. So I'm gonna color this in and then give it a minute to see if it will stay colored. Now, usually the embossing powder, once you've heated it up, it will heat resist your coloring. Now, these are alcohol-based instead of water-based like the Stampin' Right markers are. So I think, yes, it does. It stays on there. So that's perfect because I really would like to color in some of this red because my wrapping paper is red, white, and black. And I think that this will look really nice all together. And you don't really have to worry too much about staying inside the lines of this embossed piece because you're coloring on black cardstock and you really can't see the red behind it. So you don't have to be too careful with this part. You could get really creative if you wanted to. You could color the tree in green and brown. And you can use the different shades of green to kind of make the tree a little bit mottled, which would look really pretty as well. Let's see if the brush tip would be any faster. There we go. We can just basically color in the whole thing. And you can't even really see where I've colored outside the lines. I think that looks awesome. I really like how this is turning out. Now, if you had a white gel pen or a white chalk pen, you could leave these as is, and you could just write on the back your to and from, and you wouldn't have to worry about gluing anything else down. I don't have one of those pens on me today, so I am going to just take some scrap squares that I have already cut out, and I'm going to just adhere those right to the back of my tag so that I can write my to and from back there. And then to finish it off, I'm just going to take some baker's twine, cut a little length of that off, double it up, and then I'm just going to run the loop through the front to the back and pull the tails through the loop. And that is it. That's how I'm going to attach it to my package. Now, if that piece that you glued onto the back is a little too big, that's okay. Just trim it right off, and there we go. There's our fun tag to coordinate with our gift wrap. I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of these together, and then we'll be done with this tag. Alright creators, there's our final tag. I hope you enjoyed my tag series, and I will try to get back on quickly with some more awesome projects for you guys. The mini catalog and celebration is just around the corner, so stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to see some awesome projects with some of those amazing new products. Thank you so much for joining me. You can follow me on the web at MKre8tions.com. Follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/MKre8tions, and find me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest with the handle at MKre8tions. I hope you enjoyed. Merry Christmas, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye!